Okay, so welcome back, guys. Right now I'm checking what we did last time. And to be honest, this is looking quite good. So let me show you what we have achieved so far. So if we do done that run and double dash, we get all the system information we have applied so far. We have the system info, we have hardware info, memory usage, disk space, also environment info, and finally status info. And we also created something. We added a new option so we can do .NET Run, and we can say minimal to get a minimal, just a bare minimum of information we want from the system. And if we run it, we're actually getting just as this much information, just system info, hardware info, and a little bit of memory usage. So that was what we were expecting. This is going pretty well. And today we're gonna be checking at what we added for day 4. And being honest, right now, this seems like a lot. So I'm gonna be honest with you, and maybe we can start doing this one because I look at the other ones and they look pretty boring. I don't want to start working on them, but maybe on this one, no, I'm sorry, this one. So add different output formats. This means working with the graphics class and maybe creating different kinds of outputs for the information. What do you mean to outputs? For example, right now we are getting everything into grids and panels, but what if we want to get the information in a tree format? Or for example, what if we want to have everything in trees, in a left panel, something different, maybe get a version pretty much more minimalistic, and just having everything inside a grid without borders, without anything, just as neofetch or fastfetch kind of display things. That can work out also. So let's try uh, starting working on this. So I think the first thing that we should check is to see what I'm doing in this class. So let's go check all of this. So we create a new instance of the system info because this is where we get the information from. Uh, we're getting the hide icons as a parameter also is minimal because these are our two existing options so far. And then we create a grid where we put the information. We add a row for the system info and then memory info, GPU, uptime, window manager, terminal shell, BIOS, datetime, and finally for disk info. So this grid is being used, I think right now, this is being used only here, but I think it's also being used here in the hide icons. Okay. But we also have the system grid because this is more a full version. So this is getting everything inside a grid. But for example, we have the system grid because we can use this to only display this information inside a panel. We follow the same for hardware and memory chart. And we have the grid no icons, which means we create the grid, but we don't pass any icons. Maybe we can, for now, just comment this out because I think we're not using this one so far. And also, maybe we could put here the kind of an if check or a ternary operation to check if we are passing the hide icons. If it's true, then we don't show any icon, but if it's false, then we can display the icons. Maybe we can check today how to achieve that. We can refactor the code. So far, I think it's good that we comment out this code because I want to remove as much code as we can and keep this clean and lean. and just do what we need to do. So for example, this render, it's a class, no, it's a function that creates this iRenderable chart. Well, receives this chart and the title, and then just displays it using the NC console. Displays a panel with the chart inside, which is what we see here. Let me show it to you again. Oops, .NET Run. Okay, so this is gonna take some time, and this is actually taking some time, and that's what we want to reduce that time to display the information. So what this does is creates the panel and then pass the chart and add this padding and header, and this is what we see here for disk space and also for memory usage. Both are using this render private static function. So I think maybe we could create classes for the different output formats that we want. We could create them separate classes or separate functions. Okay, I think so far what we can do is also this grid is used here to display system info panel. This one, this is always being displayed as I can see. This is the one that's get displayed only if not is minimal, if the is minimal is not being called, not passed. Yeah, we get the system, the discharge information, and we display it here, okay, and just the render, okay. So we could say this is a format, this is the minimalistic format so far. We can make it even more minimalist, but I think we can start by, let me take a moment just to think about it. Yes, a different formats, panels, trees, and left panel. So sysinfo can stay here for now. I think we will also need to remove this from here and maybe put it somewhere else. But it displays everything grid. We got these different grids for different kind of information, and grid is being displayed here and here only if hide icons is false. So let me try doing that and see what we get. Oh, icons. Oops. And I won't be surprised if this is okay. Yeah. So as you can see, this is not working properly because we are creating the system info, but then we pass everything here. Why? Because we call this function, this NC console write, and says hide icons is true. Oh, well, yeah, yes. So we pass the grid, and the grid does contains everything that we see here. Okay. Everything you can see here, it's being passed. Oh, so that's quite a lot of information, and we do not expect to be passing that. So this is not what we expect. We will just expect to get the system info, just the hardware info, like what we saw before. So that's because the no icon option is not being properly, or functionality logic is not being properly working right now, because we have been doing a lot of tweaks, a lot of changes, a lot of movement, and that's been doing a lot of things. Okay, so render memory usage should go in. It's not minimal also. Let me remove this and put it here inside, like We only want to show the chart if the is not minimal. The minimal is not being passed. If its minimal is true, then we don't want to display anything else. I actually can get rid of this. Display system info panel. So these are the different panels. This is actually, so I'm gonna do something, and that will be remove all of this. Let's not do this ternary operation of checking if no icons it's true, because so far we don't need that. So create memory chart equals new breakdown chart, full size, width, and the show percentage at item. So memory chart that's being displayed here. Okay, and this also can be removed from here because that is not minimal. That's not from holistic view. And then grid. Let me check it where we are using grid. Okay, so yes, we're using it here. And let's remove it from here also. The hide icon. We're gonna try and fix that later. But as of now, I want to keep this clean and simple. And this one, I'm not gonna fully remove it because this can be a perfect candidate to create the minimalistic view. Um, Maybe not minimalistic, but the simple or plain without any kind of help or aid from this library, which is Spectre console. So let me run this again and let run. Let's see what we get. Okay, so as you can see, we get the full information. This is the complete or the full version. And if we do something like .NET Run minimal, I just want the bare minimum. Yes, we get just the system info or hardware info. Maybe later we can state what do we mean by minimal. Like minimal, maybe we can remove this, or yeah, maybe because we have Windows here. We don't want to know the kernel. We don't want any OS description. Also, we could remove BIOS, maybe let memory and CPU there. CPU can be removed, something like that. Okay, we can later plan and outline that. But so far, I like this. We are removing this thing, so this will be the panels version. Okay, so let me do some annotations here below. So how can we call this? The system. Oh, output formats. Okay, so I think we can say that we can have the panels display all system info inside panels. Pretty, pretty straightforward. Then we can have the trees. Use trees widget to display um, system info in or using this and then left panel and then get all these info titles or props inside a left panel and the values in a to the right without any order or panel. And then also maybe we can call these lane display system info without using any visual widget, just as new fetch or fast do it right out of the box. You can also create this version. I think we can start working on these ones. As I told you, maybe we can create a class. Let me start creating a class because if not, I think we're not gonna start never. So we can call these let's try calling these panels.cs. Just something like that, okay? It's straightforward. Uh namespace fetch and then create a public class panel output, something like this. And let me actually snooze the recommendations or auto completions from GitHub Copilot. I want to do this or try doing this myself so far. So I think we can do something like a static class, public static, and then void, because I think we're gonna end up printing things and not actually returning something, but we will be right just printing the information. Let's say we call the display panels. I don't like the name, but it's so far I think it's good. And then we can passing maybe we can be passing the properties here. So cool now icons, cool minimal, maybe just maybe so far. Maybe we don't end up using these here, but just to start typing something. So, and I think we can be taking do this a little bit bigger so you can take a good look at it. So for the panels, we can actually take this, can actually take all of this, pass it here, and then import these things here. Okay, okay, yes. We can pass the sysinfo. And in, I think it's sys. Okay, that a spelling error. And then we can, so if we remove these from here, I think it's not gonna go well. Hmm. Okay, okay. Yes, I think maybe we can pass the grids, a list of grids would be good. Then the hardware grid, I will be taking this actually, this class. How can we do this? How can we extract all of this and put it there? Uh, I think yes, the way is to just use the grids here, keep passing this. No, but we need to move all of these from here because we also have to manipulate this information. We need to be able to change this here in the panels and then decide what we want to import or export based on the parameters we get. So yes, I think panels can go here. Also, system grid, hardware grid, and then print it out. And then for Richard, oh, I think yes, right? Like take this, pass it here, make the check in here, and also take the render class, render method, and then put it here below as a static method, and then call this iRenderable, import it from vector console. Okay, so what we're doing here is creating the grids. I think this is gonna start make sense, and I can change it as far as soon as I can, or start adding the new output, which will be trees. So so far, I think I can remove this from here, and then remove all of this from here. Okay, everything, 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 and then just call. And let me make this a static class. Static class panel of static panel of maybe change this name to something different, not panel output, but system output. I can name this class graphics output, console output, maybe. Okay, I think this makes sense for now. Then we can say uh, console output that display panel. Then, oops, maybe we can change this to something more meaningful. Print panels, display panels, print panels, or print panels. Yep, I that print panels. Then we take the sys info here, and we could be not using this for now, as I told you before. And I knew I was gonna be removing this. So yes, graphics be good. And I'm missing here a curly braces to close. Now let's use the standard run and double dash. And yes, this is working as before. So if we pass, oh no, this should not work because we're not passing this to the new printing method. So yes, this is not working. Okay, I think we can start now um, creating the new function or new method to display the system information, the new format. So let's say public static void print as trees. Same as before, sysinfo, then traces, but again, this is not good. Capital I. Yes. And then I think we can pretty much take this idea and grid, blah, 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 yada, yada. Oops. Also, so system hardware can take these two them here below. Oh yes, I know. It's kind of know how we're gonna be refactoring this, like creating a base method that actually does takes the options and then start adding or removing the icons from every row, adding color based on uh, based in the options we get. So yeah, I think that can work out pretty good. That can work out pretty well. So okay, let's go to the actual documentation from Spectre console and go to trees. Let's go to tree widget and then start doing something like this. So for a tree, we need to create a tree, and then we need to add a node, and to that node we can add subnodes. But I think we're just gonna be adding a node to the primary tree. So I think we can take this one and start doing something like this. Okay, see? So the first of all will be yes system info, and then we can say at node. Ooh, okay, so we can this, but how do we can we actually pass bit like hardware bit? Okay, hmm let's try and check how this can go out. Like console dot output dot print as trees, then pass the sys info, and let's see how we get the information done that run pressing the double dash to actually run the application. Let's see. Oh, we're not getting anything. Print as trees. And then, oh, yes, that's because I'm not doing the and see console that print. Was it? Yeah, right. And pass a tree. Okay. So let's try and run in again, and we should see the tree. And yes, so this is kind of what we want, but we actually want a branch for every one of these rows. So far, displays just one branch because actually just one branch exists or one node exists for the tree, which is all this grid, okay? So I think this is not gonna go pretty well because I'm thinking of adding a grid and then a row for every one and each of these nodes. This is so far what I'm thinking. Let me see if we can find something like what we want, but I don't think so, like yellow folder, gray file. Okay, so no, this is not what we want. Let me see if I can see something here in the examples. So just one. Okay, this is good. But yeah, just single text. Yeah, I want something like this. So I think we can actually go and check for something like that in my repos. Then open samples, CD examples. This is actually a repo from, you can go and check this repo here at the, no, not Discord, but GitHub. At Spectre console, you go to examples, and here you can find a lot of examples for all the widgets and the things they have. And go console, and then you have all these examples. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. That's, I go to trees, oh, console, then tree. Okay, so this is the project. Let me run it and let's see what we got. Okay, so I kind of want this, but this for every row. Let me check at the actual code. Let's look at the code, and then it's doing a tree and just printing the tree. This is one, and then, oh, okay, it builds a tree here. It does tree and say new tree root, makes it red, and then guide, tree guide, that line. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, this is good. Add some nodes for food, tree add node, yellow food. This one. And then this is what we want. Yeah, table. New table on the border, columns, column, row, row, row. Okay, we want this, but not a table, but a grid. So I think this is the actual way of going for it. So let's start doing that, okay? Um this is gonna get messy, but bear with me a little. So R, we call this um CPU row, something like this, and then say new grid. Oof. Then add column, and actually we can take this and pass it as it is. One exactly this. Also the same add column, and then pass this line. I told you this is gonna get a little bit messy. And then we can pass the CPU row. We can do the same a few more times. We can call this the memory row and row, the GPU row. And then the last one, we can call it, um, oh no, I'm actually passing the hardware. Well, yeah, that's okay. So GPU, and below GPU, we have BIOS. Okay, BIOS row. And we can make this, give it some format. Yep, this guy. And then we can take, uh, instead of this, passing the memory. Okay, then taking the GPU, doing the same for GPU row, and then BIOS, and pass it here. Now we can CPU row, M row, GPU row, and then BIOS row. Okay, so we actually need to do this, like creating a statement. Not. I think we can remove this. I hope so. Okay, and let's see what we get from this change. Okay, I think something happening. Anyways, let's continue. I'm not pretty sure why my my prompt here changed here. Like, should be like this. Actually, try clearing this, and here stays the same. Anyway, so we do have it the way we want it. We have, well, kind of must say must say bad right, bad right, bad heading right. Okay. So for some reason, the padding is not being fully applied to every line. Maybe this is due to these are because here these rows are part of the same grid, and they try to align with the parent grid, but these four rows are actually four different grids, and they align the way they want. So that's maybe the reason. And I think for now that's quite okay. That's pretty much you were expecting. Maybe later we can get all of these inside a four, or maybe for each, maybe, using reflection to make this more flexible, because definitely I would like to refactor all this junk and all of this, which is pretty much the same, and create something more lean. That's what I expect to be able to do. So for now, I think this is cool. Let me check how was this adding color, like building nested, blah blah blah. I think it was here, cat program. Yeah, so I think we can see that here somewhere. Yeah, so style that parse red. Let me look for the style here. Style. Okay, so styling node labels, style.css, three white styling. You style to apply consistent style to all three guidelines, which helps create a consistent visual appearance. What does this actually means? Like blue bold. Okay. I'll, okay, so let me try doing that here. Uh, Style, then style that yeah, style that parse, no, but parse. Then maybe yes, make in and closing this. Let's see what we get here. Okay. .NET run and then double dash. And let's see if we get the yeah, green. Okay, okay. This is good. This is exactly what we expecting. Obviously, I would also like to get this green. I would love to get it green. The tree. So how can we style the okay? Always looks white. Yes, there. Style group. Maybe we see that here. Like .NET run. Remember, this is the example. And here, okay, you can see a bar in yellow. So how we do that? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. You add the markdown directly to the node. Then I think we can do that here. Something like green. And then close here. Dot let run. I expect it to be green. Also the title of the yes. Okay. So this is good. We have the title of the tree, or yeah, and the notes being totally green. This is good. Okay, okay. Okay, so for this, we actually needed to create a grid and a row. Well, honest, I don't quite like this. I think this is too much code for just printing the tree. Whew. I think also we have and coloring everywhere here. Cyan, red, red, green, yellow. Yeah, think I think in a lot of things right now. Bear with me a little. I am going maybe fast to forward in the future, but I was thinking on maybe not doing this and actually try to instantiate a class of sysinfo inside here, or maybe being building it as the user types what he wants. For that we also need configuration and more options, and that's not something we have so far. So far we don't have anything of that. No modules, no nothing. So I think the way to go right now will be doing this exact same for all of the different system infos groups like environment, status. But it's just that it bothers me creating so much code. It really bothers me to do that. But in the end, I think if we don't do that, we're not gonna get anywhere. So let me stop uh, complaining and start actually writing some code. So yes, let me comment all of this junk and then do these also. Oof, also for uh oh this no thanks. I do not expect to close here industry, so we need the system grid. So we need the OS description and kernel row. Okay, so let's do that. Format this and then just add uh OS row kernel row. And I think always description we can leave it out, because if you remember, the OS description actually gets the kernel information as well. It gets the OS and the kernel in one line, which is redundant. We don't want that. Maybe just for now and just for adding one more row, we could make this one the first line and say something like user row, say okay. So for this one we will not need another column, and then we just end up doing something like this, say user at sysinfo.host. I think it's machine. Yes, it will say something like osinfo at author or something like that, or maybe the other way around. And let's say so this is the sys and this is the hardware, so we can call this um hardware 3, hardware, then whoops, yes, hardware 3, and actually is and put it below here. Okay, and we can actually make this red, red, root guide. Okay, so what is actually See the text bold because I added this red and bold, and here above I added in and bold. Yes, and I don't see anything. Line guide, ASCII guide, guide styles. So uh, yes, blue and bold. Anyways, let's see if we get something bold, and we can add the user row. Oh, always row, and then another row. Yes, and let's run the application. .NET run dash, and let's see what we get now. Okay, on escape token at position 20 at no line markup. What is it that we unescaped? Ah, here now. Oh, it should be here. Yes. Yeah. I think this should be the issue. Yeah. And now we have the system info. We have this in red. We have CPU and memory. And as you can see, we're missing an space here because this is a grid and it's using, the grid is using two columns, and here we just have one. But anyways, we're just making or doing this for the sake of having this new output format. So far that's just details. I think we can fix that later. And now we can create the following one, which will be environment. We will add a new lines. Okay, so let me try doing a comment here to say um this really temp, temp, info 3, and then here let's say um hardware info 3, and then below here let's add the no, not display trees, but it was environment. Yes, environment info tree. Now let's add this name, add it here, and then format to this line. And instead of user, we want to add window manager, terminal, and shell. Okay, so it will be window row. I don't remember the second one, but shell row. Oh yes, terminal, and terminal row. Then we can let's actually copy this one, and here say window manager, terminal, oops, and a shell. Yes. Let's say environment tree. Yes, window row, terminal row, and then okay, that's good. So finally, we will need to create the status one. I'm missing something actually because I should have the status environment. Okay, this is good. The where do we have the disk and memory usage? Do we have that in hardware? Memory info. So memory info, we just get this. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. So we don't actually display the charts. That's good. But I should see it now. Okay, I think that's good. The charts are complicated at right now. So I think we can just keep them. So the last one will be the status, which has daytime and uptime. Okay. So again, I think we can copy all of this. We're not gonna be using all. Let's say status info tree. Okay, and then this. Let's format these lines and then status now date time. Oh, and then uptime row. Let's remove this line. Only have two. Status three and this. Okay. Thank you, Copilot. And I think that's pretty much it. We can run this. Okay, number of rows, yes, and that's because I think yes. So let us read the message again. Number of rows, columns are greater than the number of grid columns. So we have grid, have one column. Oh yes, and that's because we need the add column empty here, and we also need that here. I think this should make it. Yes. So now we have system info. Everything says system info, so this is not what we expect. Let me remove this system info. This is status info. Let's make this blue. Let's go up and environment. Yes. This. Let's make this yellow. Yes. Why not? Oh no, just this one. I think we can run this again. Okay. Oh, yellow. Let's run it again. Okay, so this is good. Now we also have to change this here. Oh, and the same for, let's make it two. Let us clear the console and then run the application. And let's see what we get. Yeah, get different colors for these different kind of outputs. Okay. Yes, I think I didn't change both of these. Oh, actually, Didn't change either these ones. CPU and memory. Okay. So this is the only one that is correct. I need to change both of these and also all of this. Memory Windows shell. Okay, so let me check it. Date time, bro. Window manager. Date time. Date time. Thank you. Check window manager. You shell and this one. This pilot. Let's run this again and let's compare what we print now, what we printed before. So OS and kernel, that's expected. CPU, memory, GPU, BIOS, this is correct. Windows terminal, now Windows Manager, terminal and shell. Windows Manager, terminal and shell, yes, this is different. And daytime, uptime, and from this. Okay, so I think this is quite good. We still need to try and give format to these lines because, for example, this is all pretty like messed up or mixed up. I would like to try and get these three values aligned to the right. To the right, that will be good. But as these are different grids, they all take their own kind of, their own format. That's what I don't like. But anyways, that's what's happening, and we have to solve that issue. But so far, I think this is good. Like we have the tree output and we have the panel's output. Let me run both of them. It's gonna take some time because it must run everything twice, and that's quite a lot to do. Yeah, so right here we have the panels version, which we have system information, hardware info, memory usage, disk space, environment, and status all being printed inside panels. And below here you can see this different format, which is using trees, which I kind of like a lot. This make it look like cleaner, at least for me. This is looking pretty good. I like this one. You know what? Let's add another one and let's make this private static. It, oh, it's public. I'm sorry. Public static void print minimal sign or you know what? Yes, this. Let me add a row. No, what? I think I can add this here. This info, yes, at chain, blah blah blah. CY. Okay, so this should not go here. Sorry, my bad. This should go inside the panel, yes, and that's exactly what we want. NC console, write a new panel. Thank you. With minimal grid, all this information. But the header will say this. Yes, let me remove this from here. Justify center, and then we can remove this. So CPU time, yeah, maybe we can change this later, but for now I think this is good. Or actually, See, yes, this is what we have here. Now I can remove this from here. Thank you. And let me do this new output. So that output, output that minimal. And again, info this. Okay, I think we can actually print this out. Not that run, double dash. Okay, yes, this and then this. Okay, so for now, I think this is good. Yeah, the panel. Now, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave the panel out. Or is there a way to make the panel borderless? Like, go here. Let's look for panel widget and let's look for border styles. Moving the border, no border. Okay, so I think that border. How will that? Also, I think we can to look for the rule widget. Yes, new rule. Let's try taking this and print it. How we could do that? Like, let me or trying and print it again. We're gonna get first the panels version, then the trees version, finally the minimal version. Okay, I like this CPU and this one. But now, justify this left. I wanna make a version like NeoFetch or FastFetch does, which is everything just per text, align these to the left, and add a rule below. So let me see how can I do this. The new rule, I don't think so. So this minimal grid has two columns. That's the issue. This having two columns means rule will have to be, well, let's try doing this. I don't think this is gonna go well. Something like this. The new rule again. I don't think so, but let's just see what we get from this, okay? Net run, double dash. If we get a pretty uninterrupted line, I think I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yes, I think we have what we were looking for. Let me see if we can give this rule a width. I think we should be able to title it. No, rule. Basic usage, and adding alignment order. Single line defaulters. creating patterns. Use rule to organize multi-sections, like system reports, or status dashboards. So in a rule and then information, metric, and configuration, rule title, and then rule style. Hmm. Um, I'm looking for dotted or a dotted style. I would like to use that, but I don't see something like that. Green rule, blah blah blah. Let me actually go to the examples. Oops. Separators, rules here, and let me run this. Oops, just done that run. Also wrongly spelled dot. Yeah, so let's check into the program class and let's see. Oh, okay, ASCII double heavy and okay, font looks pretty. But I want this ASCII border. Okay, let's do that. Let me go into the rule. Should oh yeah, they're here. ASCII border. So for this one, ASCII border and these have a width. Okay, it goes all along the sole width. So I think I don't like that, but I guess that's how it is. Let's see what we get after running this. Okay, so we have this. I don't think this is going to work out. Oh, also, my information disappeared. That's pretty weird. Anyways, yeah, I don't think I want this. Let me run this again. Yeah, so far I think this is the way to go. Just printing the uh, user and machine name and information below. And maybe, yes, I think we can put it back inside a panel again and border what we had. Let's see how this looks. Okay, yes, I think for now this is good. Uh, I don't think it's what I was looking for, but I think we can work with this. Anyways, we can work this out. What I'm still getting, or what I expect, I hope that we can fix later. It's this format in at the trees. I would love to have this well formatted, adding the correct path to put everything to the right. That will be beautiful. That will really cool. But I think we can uh, think in that later. So one more that we can do will be putting everything from these values inside the left panel, and then create another grid, put everything second grid. Okay, let me see if we can do that. Click static void print as left panel info. Okay, then we can do something like, okay, this is creating a new grid. No, I think this will just, let me see uh what Copilot has for us, but I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Okay. So anyways, let's try running this. So output dot it as left panel. Let me check it. Graphics and panels. Small print. Oh, should be capital P. Then pass this is info. Yes. And let's see what do we have here. Yep, this is not what we were looking for. So what I would like to do is to actually put everything inside a grid. First of all, a grid and a panel, and then everything inside a grid and inside another panel. Yes, maybe a borderless panel and a panel without any kind of. No, no, no. Actually, we just need a grid and then another grid with a panel, something like that. Let me enter style, our screen. Okay, then I think something, just create a column, a panel, then actually remove everything from the right side. Yes, here, you. This should be, yes, green, da 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 da. Should not have any kind of header. And then we should create a new grid or grid, grid. Yes. And finally, we can create and call this right panel. And finally put everything back in a grid, a parent grid. Let's say parent grid equals new grid. This should have two columns. Yes. Add a small padding to the right. And then we should display the parent grid. Uh, yes, I think so. So let's go and .NET run and Bash. Let's see what we get now. Okay, what I was expecting, to be honest. Are displaying the parent grid with column, the left panel. Oh yes, that's because this should not be inside a panel. That's the reason. Should say parent parent grid. Okay. And what should actually be inside a panel should be this. New, new panel, left panel. this one. Oh, but let's add order style, green and bold. Now let's run this and let's see how different it is. I really hope to see a huge difference. Yes, yes, is the way that we want to display it. The issue here is that we need to add some styling. Okay, so go here and the right panel here, and then maybe we can add style, this right panel. Let me go and check for grid. Oh, yes, we can just do something like new panel, right panel, right? Yes. Let me see how we can do this. Yes, something like this. Then new panel should go here. But let's remove this because we don't want any kind of border. This. I think now should be it. Okay. No, not looking at this differently. Maybe the issue is actually this. The styling for the left column is the same for the right column. No, no, it's not. Okay, so what can we do to maybe adding a add empty row maybe? I think this could work. Okay, yes, this did work. And we can remove this style from, no, we can remove panel. Actually just say like panel. Hmm, let's run this again and see. Yes. Okay, so this is the other format that I was hoping to create, and it looks really dope. So far the formats we have is one like this one, that we have the minimal view, just a simple panel, everything inside panels using trees, and then this, which will be a left panel, and I think we can do something like rounded border. Yes, yes, it's prettier a lot. Let me look at panels and see if we can actually add something else, like a new style. No, no title. Maybe, I don't think title. I like the padding. Panel, panel. Oh, I think we're good with what we have. Maybe we're having too much padding to the left, and we can remove that later. Let me see. Adding. Yes. Order header. Adding zero and zero. And here, let me check if I like adding to be zero, zero. Do we have, okay. Okay, we do have one for of the directions. So let's see how this looks. I'm sorry, it's not right key. Let me run this and see what we get. Yes, we reduce the padding. I think so. If we go to the padding function, let's go and try looking for this left, top, bottom. Okay, so goes clockwise. We can say left to be zero, top zero, right to be one, bottom zero. So now I expect to see a little bit of more padding to the right. And let's see if that makes sense. Yes, I do like this padding. I didn't want it padding to the left because I don't think that makes sense. It already has some padding by default. So adding one more makes it look like too big for me. So okay, this is good. We have our fourth format output. We were trying to create the panels. We have it, the tree, we have it, left panel, we have it, and then plane. So let me show you how all of them look, okay? Go to graphics and let's uncomment this. It's gonna take a while to run because right now this is not optimized. I'm actually running all this code at once, and that's not optimal by any means. Not clean, not scalable, nothing. Just trying to make it work right now, okay? So we have here the panels, the trees, simple and left panel, okay? So these are the four versions that I was looking to create, okay? The first of all, it's the panels version, which is pretty nice. Then we have the trees version. It looks clean. I like this one. Once we add the icons, it's gonna look really dope. Then we have the simple, just a panel, the information inside a panel. And then we have this, the left panel and the information to the right. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Uh, at least for me, that looks really cool. Obviously, we had some issues. For example, here in the trees, trying to printing this out doesn't looks as I expected because it's adding in some ways it's adding well it is adding the right amount of padding for all of the lines, but they are not getting a line like this because all of this is just a single grid. But here we are using a different grid per row, and that's not, I think maybe that's not the way to go. That was the way that I came out right now, just thinking a little bit. So I think I'm gonna have to thinking something else. How can we align all of the information to the left and all the information to the right? Maybe I will have to create something customized, or we might be able to find a way using the using Spectre console. I hope to. I hope because I really like this way of doing things. It looks different. It looks nice. It looks really cool. But if not, let's see what we can do. Okay. So I think so far today we were able to. Let me remove this. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, in progress. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I was trying to look for the icons, and let's do something like say in progress. Maybe we can add something here. Okay, so get disk space and memory charts into panel. I think what we were able to do today is to add different formats. We didn't make it pretty. We didn't make it clean or scalable. We just made it work. Okay, and I think that's simple enough for now. And so for these to be cleaner and customizable, I think that I'm gonna have to actually be building here the system information object. Maybe create something like a private static, no, sys info, and then create something like a private static void build sys info. So what this, no, bypass, no, build sys info. Okay, what we will actually do here is to kind of create builder a builder pattern method to actually take the sysinfo and according to what the user needs or the user configures, if the user wants to print the, I don't know, maybe he don't want the hardware, maybe he doesn't want the memory, maybe he only wants certain groups of data of information. We can call them like I forgot the name right now, but something like not plugins, but anyways, let's say just chunks or data group. Okay, if the user says they want the OS, the kernel, and says I want everything granular, then we can add or build this system information and then just call and just create the the um, output based on what the user wants. Okay, so I think that's a much better. But for that, we will need to use um, reflection, and let's see if that is doable or if that is performant enough. I think we can sacrifice a little bit of performance because right now this is not performant. And I think we all know and we uh, understand this is not performant at all. Okay, so maybe creating, adding some reflection, making that build function, build method. That will be pretty good and would help us to remove a lot of this code, of this boilerplate code that we have so far. Okay, so I think, guys, that so far this is amazing. Maybe we didn't had a great progress today, but I think creating these different formats was a huge win. So for the next stream, I will try. Maybe we can. No, this not. Maybe we can your implementation, but for implementation, but I'm sorry, but for configuration, maybe it will be better to have this reflection thing set up. Coloring options that can be pretty straightforward. Minimal flag to something like output minimal. Okay, fix and refactor no icons logic. Also, I would like to touch this logic again once that we have all of these, that we have created something more lean. I don't want to do the same that we did in the day 1 or 2, that I was like fixing the no icons logic, and then for the next stream it was all going to hell because we added so much functionality that I was not thinking in maintaining that, just in making the new features work. So I don't want that to happen again. So I think for the next stream we can actually do something like, for the first, plan and implement a way to let the user print, decide what to print from there. From there, what we can do there, uh, refactor and make icon work as well as for the minimal flag and any other existing option for the CLI. Okay, so I think that's gonna be the focus. Is gonna be the focus for the next session. I really hope to be able to be streaming tomorrow, maybe early in the morning, and from there we can work on this. We can refactor this. We can implement configuration, and also this one. So I think once we have this, I hope not to be looking too much forward in the future, but I really hope that once we have this, we can easily work on these ones. Okay. So for now, what we were able to do was to create different formats: panels, trees, and left panel. Let me show you that again. Yep. Think yes. So we print all the information inside panels. We print everything inside trees. We can do it in this minimalistic way, just creating one panel, and then this new way, creating a left panel and all the data in the right. Okay. So these are the 4 ways or 4 formats that I was looking to create for the application. Then we will also create a switch statement to let the user decide which of those formats he wants to use. Maybe he wants to use the panels, trees, minimal, or left panel. Simple. We can call this something different, or make it the default, just default, right? Okay, so guys, thanks a lot for being here. I hope you can. Oh yes, remember you can check this in my GitHub. All this information, it's gonna be in GitHub. You can go to my profile and check this code. I'm gonna try and push this code right after the streaming ends. So you can check the code. Uh, you can submit your PRs if you want, your changes. You can fork it and create something. Remember, this is the goal for this application is not to be perfect or the most fast or performant. It is just to do something different, something new, something besides my job, to maybe try and get out of the daily job and just you know doing what I do normally. I want to do something new, and I want to challenge myself so I can get better and then stop feeling unstuck as I've been feeling for quite a time. So I think that's it. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.